start off with the winners,
Yeah.
because we've actually heard from a few so far. Some of the gains were pretty eye-popping.
Yes, we're seeing some strong numbers out of the macro and multi-strategy area. These are funds that have been doing well for some time. On the macro side, Crispin Odey's fund up 152% this year, largely because he got it right on the inflation bet. He was short UK government bonds, and so that boded really well. He used leverage to really amp up those bets and drive the returns. Keep in mind, this is a fund that's a lot smaller than it was many years ago. So it's about $300 million now, but he did recoup losses from 2015.
That's a big bet to get right what inflation is going to do.
These are their 5 best years.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
So I see, 2020. I see, I gotcha.
A lot of yellow bars going up. I think that's a good thing.
But not in sequential order.
But in any case, it is early in the year. It's only January 4th, but it feels like we've read a lot about the winners so far. Have we seen any losers, or what should we be expecting as we get more of these results?
So 2022 was a very difficult year for a lot of stock pickers. If you look at the Tiger Cubs generally, a lot of them posting double-digit losses through November. The general expectation is we will continue to see those double-digit losses through the end of December. We don't expect that December was a month that really changed things dramatically for a lot of these managers. So if you look at sort of Tiger Global, Co2, Lone Pine, these are funds that are down 20, 30, 40, 50%. So it's certainly been a struggle for that space.
It's been a struggle for the space overall. You mentioned, of course, obviously a lot of the macro funds and event strategy funds did pretty well here. There are some folks who are deciding that this would be a good time to actually start a new fund. Who are these great people? You actually did an interesting profile on one of these people.
Yes, so Mala Goenka has launched Sergo Capital, Sergo Cap Partners. That's a brand new hedge fund. And what's really interesting is she raised $1.8 billion for her new fund, which not only is a sizable launch in general, but also is the biggest female-led hedge fund launch that the industry has ever seen. She is going to be focusing on sort of technology and how technology intersects with non-tech sectors, such as financials or healthcare. But the reason she gained so much traction is in large part due to her 23 years at Lone Pine Capital, which is a great place to sort of build a track record.
Yeah.
And she was one of 3 people that essentially were running the firm.
Yeah, that is quite a resume. But does it speak to maybe a trend that we could see in 2023 of more hedge fund launches? Maybe not $1.8 billion, but...
You know, it's been a tough environment for launches. Over the past year or so, we've seen them sort of slow down or be smaller in size. As the fundraising market has been difficult, as many funds have seen losses. We did see a $1 billion launch earlier last year. That was about $1 billion in commitments, so sizable still. And there may be a couple more to come. But really, like 3-4 years ago, we saw a more fervent pace of sizable launches, even 5 years ago. So it'd be curious to see, how it pans out this year.
And just real quickly, I mean, is there any sort of main theme that could sort of dominate this year? I mean, is that global macro strategy isn't necessarily going to work 2 years in a row, is it?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunities right now. I think there's a general bearish sentiment as we go into this year, but that can provide, if there's more market volatility, great opportunities for macro funds, which have been really asking for volatility for a long time.
Yeah.
And multi-strategies, big funds, because they're so diversified, could be a better bet.